Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have something very exciting to show you guys. So that is this guy right here. So this is the Morphe X James Charles palette. And yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys. I mean, if you haven't seen it already, it's all over the internet, just exactly what this palette's all about. There's a lot of color, but there's also a lot of color that you can use for everyday looks, wacky looks, you know, all kinds of different looks. So there's something in this palette for everybody. What I'm going to be doing today with this palette is I'm just going to get inspired and unleash my inner artist and yeah, basically create a look with this eyeshadow palette. So this is what the palette comes in. It comes in this box right here. It has James's face right here, and it says Morphe X James Charles, and then it has this on the back, his message. And the palette retails for $39.99. If you did purchase it at Morphe, of course you can use the Morphe codes, or like if you did like me and if you waited till Friday, of course you can use your ULTA points. You can use coupons and things like that. So I actually paid a lot cheaper price for it because I had a lot of ULTA points saved up. And I'm all about the deal, and I believe your best deal is going to be at ULTA. As far as the palette goes, this is what the palette looks like. If you haven't seen it already, it's very colorful. You have kind of like your everyday colors, more towards the top section. You have this center section which has more of the colors, like your transition colors that you are going to use the more often, which is why they're a lot bigger. Down here you have your more colorful shades, like your blues, your purples, your greens, things of that nature. So yeah, there's a lot here for everybody. It has this plastic cover on here with the names of each eyeshadow, and if I were to be honest, I personally don't care or not if it does come with this part, but it does add that nice personal touch to it because he did personally name these eyeshadow shades himself, so I definitely like it for that aspect. But just as far as this goes, I don't really care for it. But let's get into the important part, which is the eyeshadow. So I'm going to start creating a random look with this palette. So for eyeshadow base today, I'm going to be using the MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour extended eyeshadow base. I know that there has been a little bit of a controversy surrounding like what eyeshadow base to use with this palette, and I believe that James said in his video that using a product that is made to actually be an eyeshadow base versus using concealer is the best way to go. I personally feel like whatever works for you, just use whatever works for you in the best way possible. I switch back and forth with concealer and eyeshadow base all the time, so just use whatever feels right and whatever gets you the result that you want. So with this palette, I'm going to go into this yellow shade right here using a flat eyeshadow brush, and I am literally going to take that color and pack it all over my lid and really packing that yellow on. And I see there is like there is some fallout with this, which honestly I don't really mind, just as long as there's not too much fallout. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a light layer of translucent powder underneath. Alright, so now that I have that yellow packed onto my lids, I'm going to go into my crease and do some crease work now. I'll go into this pink shade right here, and I'm going to be going in with a Wet n Wild blending brush. All I'm doing is just really going right above that yellow shade and just really buffing this pink shade into my crease. Okay, so now that I have this pink all blended out of my crease, and I did go back in with the yellow and just packed on a little bit more of that color. So now I'm going to be going into the shade Single, which is this purple shade right here, and I'm going to be focusing that color into the outer portion of my crease and bringing it onto the outer V of my lid, and also dragging that color along my lower lash line as well. so far I'm really liking where this is going. This is definitely something that I have personally never done before, but I like where it's going. I like the pop of yellow. I like the pop of that pinky and purpley. So what I'm gonna do, I feel like I need a little bit more depth. I'm gonna take this guy right here, and I might add a little bit of the black in there as well, or maybe even, actually I might just do that. I'm gonna take a little bit of this deeper purple first, and I may take a little bit of black just to kind of define the outer V as well as the lower lash line and the crease a little bit more. Starting with the MAC 217, going into that darker purple, and just placing that right on top, just to kind of deepen everything up just a little bit more. And I'm just gonna take the black and focus that really on the outer portion, really getting really close on my lower lash line, and then bringing it up and through here, and then going back in with the MAC 217. I'm just going to blend that black so it looks a little bit more seamless and not as harsh. The one thing that I must say is that with the campaign, I'm glad that James Charles used a lot of different people. I would say like lesser quote unquote known like beauty influencers like Ivy, and then you also have Rocio, which I love her for her cut creases, and of course she's well known for doing the star stamp. I was actually really surprised by this when I saw Cam Lester on one of the campaigns, because he is so new and I've been following him for a while, and when he first started getting into makeup, like really getting into it, I was like, oh, Cam's getting into makeup, that's really exciting. And just to see his growth from starting so small to where he is now is like very inspiring. This whole campaign really inspired me to want to, you know, do better as far as my makeup goes, do a lot more, and I'm very passionate about makeup, and this just the whole campaign, the color story of the palette, the meaning behind the palette, and everything like that, just, you know, really unleashing your inner artist. Just saying that really inspires me, and I'm so glad that it's inspiring a lot of people just to play with color, or just play with basic colors, nudes, things like that. Just play around with whatever colors and looks that you want, and as long as you're happy and as long as you feel like your creative juices are flowing, I feel like this is a palette that's going to be great for everybody. So we're going to add a little bit of shimmer to that lower lash line, and I'm going to go into this guy right here. So this is actually the color that caught my eye first when I looked at the palette, when I first opened it up, and this is the first color I actually swatched. And this purple is like, it's a really nice purple. It has like a blue sort of pinky like reflex to it, and I don't have a color like this in my collection, I don't believe. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack that color on to my lid, my lower lash line, I should say. So for eyeliner on the bottom, I'm going to be, instead of using black, I'm going to be using blue, and this is the MAC Chromographic Pencil in Marine Ultra. And for my upper lash line, I'm going to be using the RK by Kiss Black Liner. This is the 24-hour eye define eyeliner. And what I like to do is I really like to shade that upper lash line, just to give that definition so that when the lashes go on, and because I do have smaller eyes and not a lot of like lid space, it doesn't look like the eyeliner is taking over. Alright guys, so this is the final look. So we have lashes on, everything's done. I finished the rest of my face. I did add a little bit of highlighter on my cheeks as well, and I used this color from the James Charles X Morphe palette, this color right here. It's like a, how should I say, It's not necessarily a highlight, but it gives a certain sheen to the face, like a natural sheen that kind of like melts into the skin. So I really, really like this color. This is definitely a amazing palette. Like I said, you can definitely create a whole bunch of looks using this palette. So I definitely recommend picking this up if you haven't already had it. It's selling out like crazy, so I say definitely pick it up soon. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified when I do upload videos here on the YouTube. And yeah, guys, I will definitely catch you later in another video.